Guys, could XRP potentially explode in June? And what would be top 4 reasons why that would happen? And I also want to talk to you guys about this article that I saw that was pretty interesting as well. So an angel investor has said, XRP doesn't need to go to $10,000 to change your life. And I want to break down some key things he's actually said in this article. So if you have invested into XRP, and you want to talk about it, you want to know about it, where the price can go, and what XRP actually does is a fundamental thing. Guys, make sure to stick around in this video. So we're going to be talking some important catalysts, and then we're going to talk, this $10,000 question. And comment down below, what price you're realistically hoping for XRP. I'm interested to hear your thoughts on it. And we're also going to talk about some macro things as well in this video, plus the actual current XRP price in the crypto market right now. So you guys enjoy it. Make sure to like the video. And guys, let's get straight into it. So I want to say in the last 24 hours, last actually few days, the crypto market has encountered a piece of volatility. You can see XRP kind of going from 20th of April from around the $2 level. We rode all the way up to around $2.60, which was a nice price zone. And just recently, particularly from this candle right here and this candle right here, big drop downs in price. So we've actually dropped all the way down just recently to around $2.05, $2.07, but it has bounced back up to $2.15. But the good thing is, look, even if you are long-term holding XRP, like I know a lot of you guys right here on the channel are, you can still trade some of this volatility short-term. So I have been trading this, making some good short-term gains in the crypto market. And we do have a shout out to today's channel partner, which is going to be Weeks. So if you haven't heard of Weeks, guys, great crypto exchange. You get some really nice bonuses exclusively with my link. So if you want to get up to $30,000 worth of trading bonuses, you can do that right here. So make sure to check out the link in the description of this video. You guys can join up, get some really nice bonuses for doing some different things, doing some trading over there, and unlock that. But that is really cool to get. So shout out to Weeks today for putting that on for our community right now. And let's talk about why XRP could potentially do a 50% breakout. What are the top 4 reasons? And then we'll talk about the $10,000 question for XRP. So if we have a look right here, guys, top 4 reasons XRP could potentially surge 50% in June. So 50% in June, that would potentially actually push us up to an all-time high. I'm trying to find the price level right here. So pretty close to an all-time high. So about $3, $30, $3.20, something like that. That would be a very, very big jump. And let's understand the 4 catalysts they're talking about right here for XRP. So factor number 1 we have to have on the radar right now is the SEC will decide on Franklin Templeton's XRP ETF by June the 17th. And JP Morgan analysts estimate the fund would attract over $8 billion in the fund's first year. However, there is a chance the SEC also delays this, but polymarket traders place the odds of approval by July 31st at 21% and by the end of the year at 83%. So this could definitely increase, the demand for XRP. So remember what an ETF does, if you're not aware of it, it just opens up the door to institutional buyers buying into XRP. So there's going to be a lot of rich people out there, and you know what? They just don't have the time, they don't have the patience, they don't have, the effort required to self-custody their own crypto. So they don't want to do it. They want to buy it through shares and through an ETF. So an ETF is basically, it's like a share that is backed by XRP crypto. And that's the way they can just buy it with all the other stocks they buy on the share market. So this could potentially increase the demand for XRP. So that definitely would give us a nice catalyst to the upside. Number 1, if it gets approved, and number 2, if that demand flows in for the crypto. So that would be important for XRP. There is potential for breakouts as well. So yes, there could be a breakout coming in for XRP coming up. And also the other thing to watch out for is point number 3 right here, is what happens with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin has been a little bit sluggish recently. We actually did get an all-time high though. So you have to remember, cryptos are very long-term. You have to be patient with this. So if you actually zoom out, it can be a little bit tricky. So some days you might be thinking crypto market's so boring, but take a look at where we are on the price graph. We're still super high, guys. This is super high. So remember, if you are an OG subscriber of this channel, like some of you are, like Young Pistachio, you guys would know, like a real dip is back here. This was the real dip here and here. This was FUD Town. And we were just walking through FUD Town back at this zone when Bitcoin was at $15,000. We had the FTX collapse. We had Luna Classic collapsing right here. So that's a real dip in the crypto market. This is a nothing burger. So you zoom out, right? That's an absolute nothing burger, guys. So I still think the crypto market's looking very strong. And remember, we got this huge rally basically out of nowhere. And we could potentially do it again. And when it goes to like $143,000, $150,000 Bitcoin, that definitely would be something extremely bullish to watch out for. And a lot of people are saying, the Ripple XRP price is looking good based off some technicals as well. So yes, I would actually say that XRP price, it's been looking pretty juicy. So you can see down the bottom, if we have a look at the daily, the stochastic RSI is down. So I actually did trade. I've got a long position opened on XRP once again. So I've added more right here, because have a look at the RSI. It's way down in terms of value. It doesn't mean it's a guarantee it's going to bounce back up, but you can see it bounced really strongly off this $2.10 level, and also off the $2.07 level, and it bounces pretty strong off this. So there's a huge amount of support. There's also a huge amount of support here as well. So I think the $2 level is looking ultra strong for XRP currently. And really, what we are looking for is some macro catalysts in the crypto market. So what I mean by that is you still, like, even if you're just, if you only just own XRP, you still have to factor in what I like to call the macro in terms of things. And the macro, unfortunately, this week, it's a little bit uncertain. So we had some really good macro stuff coming out previous few weeks with Trump and China, but it just seems to be at the forefront. There is more tussles and potential fighting happening between Trump and President Xi Jinping of China, and we have to be honest about this relationship as well. These guys are rivals. So USA and China, this is the new conflict I would say to watch out for of the 21st century. If you're not aware of it, it's not really Russia and USA, it's Russia and China now, and it's because China is a very militarized country. It's got a lot of good technology, and the USA is worried about it. Let's be honest, that's the deal. So US to increase sanctions on Chinese tech, targeting subsidiaries. And we know the thing about China is it is kind of locked into the global economy. So if these two countries start to fight, everyone could be impacted basically. But it's just something we have to be aware of as a grand scheme macro thing, but also Bitcoin's pushing back up. So I would say right here, the XRP on the technicals, I think it's looking solid right now, but again, not financial advice. I have been doing some trading. And if you guys do want to get in on the trading action, check out, again, channel partner right here, exclusively for you guys, get in on these bonuses. Really nice. Do some trading over there, deposit and trade just for you guys on the channel. And that can also unlock VIP into my Discord as well. So make sure to make the most of that. And having said that, guys, let's talk about the $10,000 question for XRP. So this is really, this is an opinion article from an angel investor, and he says here, XRP doesn't need to hit $10,000 to change your life. So guys, let me know in the comment section below, what level of XRP would you realistically like to see? What level are you going to take profits on this? So look, in crypto, the game is you ultimately have to trade it for, some type of asset, generally speaking. So that's what I've done in the past with crypto. You buy it low, you sell it high, and then you can put it against some other types of assets in your life, like a mortgage. You can pay off a house, you buy a house potentially, you buy a car. And just let me know in the comment section below, what price level are you targeting for XRP? Would it be $5, $10, $20, $100? Or do you want something like $10,000 right here? And this private investor, this private angel investor, he does talk about the differences between Bitcoin and XRP. And this is true. He does say right here, for example, your investment in Bitcoin will require the asset to surpass $300,000. In contrast, XRP would only need to rise to just under $8 to deliver the same ROI. That's true. And XRP's market cap is only 7% of Bitcoin. True again. And XRP is utility, not hype. So I'd say XRP is more, it's utility. It's not a store of value cryptocurrency. So it's not really looking to be a collectible. In crypto, you're going to find cryptos like Bitcoins. They have like this collectible value to it. They're just like gold, all right? So gold, and you can also compare gold to other types of collectibles around the world. So it's a psychological market. People believe in it. And it's fused with technology. It's a little bit complicated to understand, but just the premise is, people believe in it as a store of value. It fulfills itself, and then therefore it becomes a store of value. So a lot of it is psychological. But having said that, for XRP, it's a little bit different because we do know, have a look at this next sentence, XRP offers fast, low-cost international transactions. It can settle payments in under 5 seconds and process up to 1,500 transactions per second. It also offers performance metrics that rival traditional financial systems like SWIFT. Wow. So that is really, it is looking to be infrastructure play, future global payment system. And he does said that, XRP doesn't need to hit $10,000, even $100 to significantly impact someone's financial future. That is true, but I would also say, look, everyone's in a different position. So I would love to see XRP hit $10,000. You know, if we are to actually get this though, you know, it spells it out right here what's needed. So we need to, you know, dominate Swift. We need to become the premier payment global system network. And the way that's honestly going to get done, there's going to be two real factors behind this. I would say XRP Ripple, the company, needs to stop selling the crypto on the market. And the second thing that needs to happen is, you know, Brad needs to sell this. He needs to get the central banks, get all these global infrastructure whales to actually adopt it, like actually adopt it, go off Swift or go off this traditional system and use the XRP, you know, blockchain. That is the way forward for XRP to hit $10,000. And of course, yeah, look, XRP goes to $100. That's still going to be, you know, nearly a 50x, so just less than a 50x. And Bitcoin and XRP aren't rivals. Yes, they're completely different, guys. So Bitcoin is completely different to XRP. So Bitcoin is your gold proposition. So it is a store of value proposition, buy and hold. And one day, you know, we might potentially see $1 million Bitcoin. We might see $10 million Bitcoin. We could even see higher than that. You know, it's really a very, very high upselling market, no PE ratios on this stuff. And he does make a good point down the bottom, and he does say right here, you know, for informed investors, the question isn't which asset is better. Instead, it's about how much of their portfolio should be allocated to each, based on the risk profile and investment goals. And that's really that's some really advanced investing stuff. So, look, when it comes to investing, you can diversify as well. So you can, you know, go into XRP, you can go into Bitcoin, you can go into Ethereum. You know, you're going to be splitting your returns. You're going to be, you know, splitting your risk as well. And, you know, if multiple of these, you know, go to the moon, you know, you're going to catch a ride on each one of them. And if one of them fails, you know, you're only going to mitigate your loss on, you know, one of them. So it's really about splitting out your risk. And you can also, look, the other thing that article doesn't mention, but you can also invest into things outside of crypto as well to really spread out your risk, like really spread it out. Because once you make a lot of money, the goal isn't then to make even more money, even though some people would like to do that. It actually becomes, you know, the goal is actually to protect your money. So you try and protect it against things like inflation, because in this economy, unfortunately, you know, if you live in the USA, you live in any Western country, Australia, guys, it's like a scam. It's a huge scam. Just being honest with you, there's just so much money printing. You're going to find like asset prices of houses are going through the roof. How are people supposed to afford these things? It's a huge scam. So it's about protecting your money, making your money grow, and diversity can definitely be a strategy to do that as well. So that's something, you know, I personally do, but again, not financial advice right here, but that's a pretty cool, interesting article. And yeah, again, comment down below where you think we can go. And I do think, look, if you're going to get anything crazy for XRP, exactly what I said needs to happen for this crypto. So it's more of a Brad Garlinghouse. It's a business play, getting the central banks on board, getting the Federal Reserve on board. But in the meantime, it could still pump up high based off overall market sentiment. We've seen it go to $3, you know, 60 or $3.40 in the past. You know, definitely without even getting adopted, it could go to $5, $10, potentially $20 as well, just off some crazy momentum in the crypto market. So I still think there's plenty of upside for XRP as a long-term crypto. And again, if you do want to trade it in the short term, make sure to check out channel partner right here, Weeks, where you can get in on that trading action. But guys, really appreciate you tuning into this video. I hope you have a good rest of the week. I'll see you guys in the next one. Crypto Zeus signing out.